I'm not used to being in buildings like this. It took me an awkward while to figure out where the heck I was going. Apparently there's a parking garage inside the other building that I was in as well. I'm trying to find the entrance to that building. I found the entrance to the parking garage, and the parking garage entrance said office employee parking, no visitor parking. So, at least I didn't waste time trying to park there. I hit the right parking garage the first time. And I think I got lucky with the parking spot, honestly, because I do get really uncomfortable in unfamiliar parking garages. Yeah, this is where I went in. I like this. I noticed this on the way in. Got electric vehicle charging spots. This is electric vehicle charging 3-hour max, and this is from APS. There's a take charge AC. I'm assuming you probably have to use an app to use this, and there's not a lot of information here. So I don't know how one goes about using this in terms of setting up payment and stuff, but I recognize this connector. That's the connector that all of our chargers have up at Hertz. So it's a level 2 charging connection, 220 volts AC. It'll plug right into everything but a Tesla. With a Tesla, you need the Tesla adapter. Which is why every time I put a Tesla in a stall, and these days I'm not putting EVs in the stalls. Oh, I did not just drop my car key. All right, there it is. These days I'm not putting the EVs in the stalls. So it's kind of a non-issue, but with every Tesla I put in a stall, I make a point to make sure it has its... Can you stop beeping, car? Damn. I make a point to make sure it has the Tesla adapter, because there's a good chance the driver of that Tesla is going to need it. Anyway, this is not a spot I expected to find electric car charging. Stop, no right turn. I guess this means I need to go left. Oh, look, there's a one-way sign. Almost completely hidden by vegetation. It's 1:29 on the Saturn clock, so figure about 1:34 in the real world. I think it's 5 minutes off these days. This is the first time I've been in here since all this development has been built. Now, there was some development here before, but not this stuff. The stuff that was here before was further set back. And if memory serves, you couldn't really get to it from here. You had to get to it from the other side of the freeway and going underneath. It's been so long since I've come over here. Wow, I just now noticed the catwalk up above. That's wild. Interesting how there's little private street signs here. One I just crossed is Lakeview Circle. No street signs indicating what the one I'm on is called. the street lighting that's kind of hanging from wires up above. That's neat. Playa del Norte Drive. Now, I'm familiar with Playa del Norte Drive going in the other direction, like across the street from Scottsdale Road. When I was working for Lime, as a lime juicer, I picked up and dropped off many scooters here, and there used to be a lime hub at the roundabout further down Playa del Norte. Also, on Playa del Norte, to my right here, and the video probably didn't catch it, is In-N-Out Burger. Which I don't go to In-N-Out Burger very often these days, but I do love me some In-N-Out Burger. On the left, wow, Macayo's Mexican food. It doesn't really look like it architecturally, but that used to be a Denny's. And it used to be a Denny's I went to on the regular. And I have no idea when it changed from Denny's to Macayo's. Once I no longer had reason to come to this particular part of Tempe, I just stopped because of the density of the traffic. I don't like being stuck in it. Interestingly enough, just north of the Macayo's that used to be a Denny's is Audio Express. And that Audio Express car stereo store has been there for ages. In fact, I remember buying a car stereo from them in the late 90s and having them install it in a Lincoln Town Car that I was leasing as a cab, and having them screw up the power antenna switch with their installation, which really pissed off the day driver, because I guess he always felt the need to lower the antenna when he wasn't using it. I never touched that switch. It's kind of a non-issue for me, but it was sort of frustrating that their $1 installation included screwing up something that was already in the car. And I probably should have taken it back there to have them do something about it, but I ended up just moving into another car. As the complaining about the power antenna switch was the least of the issues that I had with that day driver, and I just got tired of working with him. What used to be where that development is, and I can see where what's there is better use, or at least a more profitable use of the real estate. But what used to be there is Club Rio, which was an amazing nightclub. It used to have a lot of great live bands. I remember seeing the Deftones there when the Deftones were a relatively unknown band. And the opening band at that show was Far, which was a really good band that you never hear mentioned anymore. I feel like probably the only person who really came to listen to Far that was into the band Far, but absolutely loved their performance. I also saw Todd Rundgren on his TRI tour. A lot of other stuff I went to Club Rio for. That's just two that kind of stick out in my mind. A lot of times I just go to Club Rio for after hours dancing. They play industrial music and I enjoyed it. And then a lot of times as a cab driver in the 90s, I just rolled through Club Rio because that was a place where I would get fares that would flag me down late at night. I worked dispatch when I was a cab driver. I would actively work dispatch, but if I was between dispatch calls, I would try to drive through places where people were likely to flag me down so I could make more money, and that was one of the places that I liked to drive through. And most of the times, if it was during, their active hours that I drove through Club Rio, I'd get something. I do miss Club Rio, but I gotta admit, what they got going on there is impressive. Just not the sort of thing I like being around. That level of density makes me kind of uncomfortable. So my meeting, I should talk about my meeting that we had. I think her name was Cynthia. She was absolutely gorgeous. I would assume late 20s. And married with children. She did say a couple of things that keyed off that she was married and has a kid at home. ProLogistix doesn't have an office there. And that shouldn't surprise me. It's not like this is a warehouse district. However, they have a rep that has an office there, or more appropriately, has a cubicle there. It's a private cubicle with a closing door, so I guess technically that's an office. But she's getting space from WeWork, and WeWork has been in the news quite a bit lately as a venture that is failing. And I think they're failing because, from what I've read, they're failing because they just overextended themselves. And then after the pandemic, a lot of people that were doing office work found that they did better at home, so why pay rent for a cubicle at a place like WeWork? Anyway, that was my first time of actually stepping foot in a WeWork office space. They had the entire 10th floor in that building, and pretty interesting. It looked like it was 100% millennials with just a dash of Gen Z thrown in there. I did not notice any Gen X or boomers. Not like that's an issue with me, just making observations. Wow, the airport is busy today. I'm hungry. I really need to stop somewhere and get some food before I start my work shift. Wow. I went this way because I figured this would be less traffic than going around to the north on the 202 or the south on I-10, and I may have thought wrong. There's a lot of congestion going into Terminal 3. Yeah, honk. That'll make it better. So, yeah, when I walked in, of course, all I had was Suite 1000, which is the entire WeWork floor, and that was a little awkward. But at least I knew the name of the person that I was asking for, which, of course, I don't remember now. But I had that fresh in my mind. And and there was a receptionist that worked there, so I guess she keeps track of everybody that has space there. And told her who I was looking for, and she knew exactly who that was. And as she was putting in information or whatever in some kind of a computer to message her, the person I was looking for, who I think her name was Cynthia, walked right by, and she's like, "Hey, this guy's for you." And she's still trying to put the information in, and Cynthia's like, "No, it's fine. You can come with me." She's like gesturing me, so I followed her in. She's a really energetic, bubbly person. I would say her husband is a very lucky guy. He seemed beautiful and intelligent and very positive. We talked for a while. Unfortunately, the job that I was wanting, which, by the way, I said earlier that it didn't post what the hours were. It actually did post what the hours were. And yeah, it was night shift, the kind of night shift I like. Yeah, everything was on point about the job. I think the job was offering like 18 or 19 an hour. Forklift around like 42nd Street. Anyway, it's not relevant because the job canceled. She said, yeah, that one canceled. They're not looking for anybody. Which sucks, because that job it checked literally all the boxes of what I'm looking for. It would be worth leaving MLS for. And let's be realistic, I wouldn't be leaving MLS. I would be depreciating MLS. I would be having a hard talk with Rob saying, hey, or hopefully not Rob, but actually the really attractive woman that works in that office whose name I can't ever remember. Got a feeling that Polestar I'll be seeing later tonight, the white Polestar on the right. And I can see it's got permanent tags, so rental car tags. That looks like a Hertz Polestar. course, I see so many white Polestars that look just like that. I have no idea if it was that one or not. It's the first time since I've been doing this commute that I've seen this much traffic going through this part of the airport. Might have to go back to using Air Lane to go to work. 'Cause this sucks. So yeah, the job that I really wanted evaporated. But I mean, I'm there. She's wanting to place me because I mean, she gets paid based on placements. So I understand her eagerness to try to get me in one. She asked about background checks. We had a fun conversation about background checks. She's like, well, can you pass a background check? It's like, well, yeah. And then she's like, well, if you're with ProLogistix, then you've already passed ours. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I did it. I said, I know I'm pretty sure I passed your background check for another job that I was supposed to be placed in, where the person with the job ghosted the ProLogistix rep. But I told her about my forklift experience and what I did with Amazon, and then what I did with Williams-Sonoma, but how that job ended up not working out for me because of the hours and the commute. And I told her, yeah, at this point, I don't want a long commute. I drive a really old car that's not very reliable, and I can't afford another car. And I want to know that if that car takes a shit, then I'm going to be able to make it to work on time via bus. That's not going to be problematic. So I'm not really interested in a job that's going to be more than a $5 Waymo ride to get there. And I told her I'm not a morning person. I said, you know, you have me on a schedule where I go to work at 7 p.m. at night, or 4 in the afternoon. I'm 100% reliable. I'll always be there, always be on time. I said if it starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, kind of dicey. I mean, I'll show there most of the time, but there's going to be the days that I just simply don't wake up. I'm not a morning person. And I don't want to take a job where I'm setting myself up for failure. I want to get something where I know I'm going to be comfortable, I know I'm going to be reliable, and I know I'm not going to be messed up by schedule or transportation. Asked if I had a resume. I said, no, I'm not good at making them. She goes, that's fine, me neither. So there was another one that was on that list that looked actually pretty good for me, but it says it requires a resume. I don't have a resume. I'm terrible at making resumes. And every time I make a resume, it just looks really bad because my work experience is so spotty. And so much of it's just, you know, self-employment or at work or whatever. So, and what education do I have to speak of? I got a GED in 1988. Whoop-de-doo. I went to modeling school. Yay, that's something that matters in warehouse jobs. So I just don't feel like putting together a resume. It's just a whole lot of work that's just going to end up being screened out by an AI and not even looked at by a human. She kind of nodded, like she understood where I was coming from with that. She sent me texts regarding 2 jobs, and that's on my iPhone, which I'm shooting a video with, so I guess I can't read those right now. One that would be good if it wasn't for the fact that I have to be to work at 5:30 in the morning, and it's close. It's really close. It's like 16th Street in Buckeye. I mean, it's where am I at right now, you know? But again, it's early in the morning. Not really wanting to go to work at 5:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday. That's not my thing. The other one didn't quite pay as good, but definitely paid better than what I pay. Not forklift operator though. It says machine operator at a plastics factory. I said what kind of machine? She couldn't really go any more detail on it, but she said it's relatively easy. And I told her I'm comfortable that I could learn to operate any machine, and I do believe I could learn to operate any machine. I'm not sure what shade of green this Toyota is waiting for. Yeah, it's green. Please put your phone down and pay attention. And the person who couldn't pay attention to the green light just did an unsignaled lane change. Are they going to do a turn without a signal? Yes, they are. Yeah, I've definitely noticed in observing and videoing this and making compilations of bad drivers and shorts of bad drivers, that drivers who exhibit one bad driving behavior often exhibit other bad driving behavior. the guy that's paying so little attention that they don't go when the light turns green is also the person that doesn't signal their lane changes and doesn't signal their turns, as y'all just saw in that white Toyota. Anyway, the other job offers for plastics thing, I'm a little on the fence on that one. It actually sounds like a pretty good job. The pay is not so much that, oh yeah, I need to jump on this. And for me, that's $20. Like something that's over $20, I'm like, yeah, I need to jump on this. I have a job that I really love, and I'm not sure what my hourly pay rate is there. You think I would know that, but I don't get pay stubs. All this information goes to an app that I don't know how to access. So I don't know. I just see a direct deposit. So I don't know what my hourly rate is. I honest to God don't know. You know, the funny thing is when I went through my onboarding, I do believe I checked boxes to receive direct deposit, but also receive physical pay stubs. And yeah, didn't work out that way. Because I would like my pay stubs. I would like physical paper pay stubs. I like direct deposit, don't get me wrong, but I like, that's one thing I definitely liked, as much as I didn't like the hassle of trying to deposit physical paper checks. I did like getting a paper pay stub that broke down what I was spending on taxes and how much I made an hour, and it just broke everything down for me. I never really knew any of that with Amazon. At least with Amazon, I could open up the A to Z app, and I could see, you know, what my hourly base wage was, and how much pay that I was getting was actually like shift differential, what days I was getting additional money for holiday pay or whatever. Like that stuff was broken down really nicely. So even though I didn't have a pay stub, like I could look up that information. When I was on A to Z, of course. Once I got let go, I no longer have access to that stuff. So I no longer know. And I don't remember. I don't have little pay stubs to look at this shit. Whereas I still have all my pay stubs from Williams-Sonoma somewhere. There's somebody definitely living in that RV. That one's been there a while. I swore I wouldn't be back here, but I'm back here.
Welcome to Burger King. How can I help you today?
Yeah, can I do the 2 for $5 Whopper Juniors with
You want the dollar Whopper Juniors?
No, the 2 for $5.
Oh, the dual. Okay.
Yeah.
Which one would you like? You would like the cheese, the bacon and barbecue?
Bacon and cheese.
That sounds better. The both of them, sweetie?
Yes, please.
All right. Something else?
No, that'll be it for me. Thank you.
All right. Please pull up to the first one. No, thank you.
She sounds bubbly. I'm really looking forward to see what this woman looks like. Get my Discover card ready. Hope it's still in my pocket. Pretty sure it has available credit on that. I made an additional payment the last time I called them on the phone. Still haven't taken care of my Costco Visa. That was on the agenda for last night. Yeah, I did that.
All right. Something else, sweetie? Would you like to drink? So you don't want to get one? Right. Something else? All right. You ordered 2 Whopper Juniors?
Yeah.
Oh, 5.4. Welcome to Burger King. How can I help you today? You want to make that a meal, sweetie? All right, that's all.
Is there a receipt in the back? Thank you. It's a little on the chubby side, but I wouldn't turn her down. That's one ugly ass Subaru in the line for the drive-thru. Parking lot's a little more difficult to get out of this time of the day. There's just no coming out onto 16th Street, making a quick left and then a right. It's not happening with this much traffic. 154 on the Saturn clock. I'm pretty sure that means 159. So, hey, I got a 5-minute punch-in window. I always need that extra time because I'm always a little late leaving too. So. I'm thinking about the one that she gave me. I gotta ponder it. But at least we've touched base. She knows what I'm looking for. She knows what I'm into. She knows what my skill sets are. She's got a lot of jobs in the area that come across her desk, so she'll be more actively thinking about me as things come across, and she says she'll definitely hit me immediately if that other job reappears. Also, she had something that was forklift night shift at Honeywell, which I guess is very close by. She told me where, I forget exactly where, but it's nearby. That one required an additional background check, so I put all my information in. And maybe I'll pass it, maybe I won't. I did tell her that my thing with background checks is that even when I do pass them, they just seem to take an exorbitantly long time. And I told her about how Domino's Pizza, which I didn't even stay up, I stayed up for like 3 weeks, how I got in there, and I was told the background check would take a couple of days, and it ended up taking just shy of a full month. I don't know why they take so long for me. They just often do. Anyway, I'm here. It's time to get to work. Wolf down these. Actually, I can eat these Whoppers while I get in the car with. Oh man, I'm forgetting his name. The guy I ran over the foot. Steve. So I was getting in the car yesterday in the Shag, and Collie was driving, and he was moving a little bit as I was getting in or getting out, and I'm like, hey dude, don't Steve my feet. I said, don't Steve my foot, or something like that. Andre lost it. Oh, it was funny at the time. Anyway, yeah, I can eat these burgers while I'm rolling around with Steve.